So I wanted to summarize all of the positions or all of the questions about Shawwal. And of course, the basis of that is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, "Man sama Ramadan thumma atba'ahu," or kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam. He said that whoever fasts Ramadan and then follows up Ramadan with 6 days from Shawwal, it is as if they have fasted an entire lifetime to it. And the Prophet ﷺ is explaining to us that fasting every year, Ramadan and Shawwal, the 6 days of Shawwal, would be equivalent to having fasted your entire lifetime, because a good deed is by minimum multiplied by 10 by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so a month by 10 is 10 months, 6 days is 60 days, right? So it's 2 months. And so therefore, if you fast 36 days of the year, or approximately 36 days of the year, it is as if you have fasted the entire year in the sight of Allah. Hence, if you do that regularly, it's as if you have fasted a lifetime. And subhanAllah, that doesn't include the Mondays and Thursdays, the Ayyam al-Bid, which the third, if you fast the 13th, 14th, and 15th of every month, which are the days of the full moon, the Prophet ﷺ also said that whoever fasts those days, it is as if they have fasted an entire lifetime, because that covers the month. That doesn't include the days of Arafah and Ashura and the mighty rewards that they cover. So this is a very specific hadith with a very specific injunction. And a few things come up in regards to it. And it's really based on, first and foremost, whether or not the virtue of the 6 days is 6 days after Ramadan, or the virtue of the 6 days is 6 days within Shawwal itself. And these are not like the days of Ashura and Arafah that were taken from being obligatory days of voluntary days of fasting after the legislation of Ramadan. These are 6 days that are directly connected to the month of Ramadan and keeping consistent after Ramadan. Now, another question that comes up: is it better to do the 6 days of Shawwal early, meaning as soon as Shawwal starts, or is it better? Scholars like Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, Abdullah Mubarak rahimahullah ta'ala, and others, they mentioned that it's preferable to fast them as soon as possible. Why? Because the way the hadith is sequenced, and also that you'll be amongst the sabiqun in that regard, the forerunners in that regard. You'll be quick in that regard. And so you can, inshallah ta'ala, do them quickly, and you don't miss out on them. You don't risk missing out, because we know that sometimes we might plan to space them out, but then things happen and we're not able to fast them. And so you will find some of the scholars mentioning that it's preferable to fast them, in sequence, or at least earlier within the month. In that regard, to really say one way or the other. And so you can fast them as quick as possible, inshallah ta'ala, if you want to develop the consistent habit of fasting now that Ramadan is over and your body is adjusted. Then inshallah ta'ala you can again combine with Mondays and Thursdays. And if you combine the first Mondays and Thursdays, or whatever Mondays and Thursdays you can, as well as Ayyam al-Bid, the 3 middle days of the month, inshallah ta'ala, then hopefully you're in the safe zone in that regard as well. So again, sooner is better, in the sense that you don't want to miss out and end up with the last few days, because it has happened to many people, right, where they make the intention and then they missed a Monday or Thursday here for whatever reason, and then there are 3 days of Shawwal left, and they have to still fast 3 days to be able to partake in that reward. So definitely sooner the better, but combining is also good if you want to make it a habit, Mondays and Thursdays, inshallah ta'ala, and the middle 3 days of the month. Again, these are broad concepts, inshallah ta'ala. These are, ways for us to continue to take advantage of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He's given it to us. The last advice that I'm going to give you in this regard is try to bring about some of the Ramadan ingredients to your Shawwal fasts as well. We all know that fasting in Shawwal is not as easy as it becomes in Ramadan. And there are many reasons that we could explore in that regard. But try to make sure, for example, if you had the habit to read a juz of Quran in every day in Ramadan, or some other amount, then read that amount if you can, inshallah ta'ala, for the days that you're fasting in Shawwal as well. Try to give sadaqah on those days as well. Make dua before iftar on those days. If you can pray some qiyam, inshallah ta'ala, on those days as well. So try to bring some of those Ramadan ingredients, bidnahi ta'ala, to your fasts as well in Shawwal. And I think that covers most of what gets asked, and inshallah ta'ala, whatever else is asked that I didn't cover, I may have forgotten to cover, inshallah, we can talk about it on Thursday during our webinar, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But in the meantime, please do, inshallah ta'ala, avail yourselves of this wonderful opportunity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to use these fasts, not just to get closer to Him, but to also, inshallah ta'ala, remember our brothers and sisters in dua. Remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the dua, the supplication of the fasting person until they break their fast is accepted. That is not restricted to Ramadan. And so in Shawwal, right before your fast, remind each other, inshallah, if you have people around you, to make dua for Al-Aqsa, to make dua for Gaza, to make dua for your Uyghur brothers and sisters, to make dua for your brothers and sisters in Afghanistan who are also suffering, brutal attacks, Syria, Yemen, wherever they are. Keep them in your dua, inshallah ta'ala, as you are about to break your fast. And of course, Allah knows when you say fi kulli makan, in every place in the world, when you're making dua for people, Allah knows, and Allah encompasses what you cannot encompass, and Allah remembers and knows what you at times may forget. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to do so, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds, and jazakumullahu khairan.
Our Prophet ﷺ reminded us to follow up Ramadan with 6 of Shawwal. And by the way, even in this there is a philosophy. SubhanAllah, after fasting so many days, there's a big incentive. Don't give up fasting. Don't just say, khalas, end of story, month over. No, 6 days dangling in front of you. There's a reward there. Why? There's a philosophy here, there's an attitude here that worship never stops. Worship never stops. You've done 30, that's wajib. The Prophet ﷺ strongly encouraged, do 6 more. Bismillah, go for it. 6 more, and you will get the rewards of the full year. And this is the only month where we are encouraged to fast 6 days in this manner, the 6th of Shawwal. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever follows up the fasting of Ramadan with 6 fasts of Shawwal, it is as if he has fasted the whole year. And of course the reason for this, as we know, is that every good deed is rewarded 10 times. So the fast of Ramadan, the 1 month, will count as 10 months. And the fast of 6 days of Shawwal will count as 60 days, which is 2 months. So 10 months plus 2 months is the year. And so whoever follows up Ramadan with the 6th of Shawwal, it is as if he has fasted the whole year. And I encourage myself and all of you, not just the 6th of Shawwal, 3 months of every, 3 days of every month. The Prophet ﷺ strongly encouraged us, 3 days of every month, especially the 14th, 15th, 16th of the Islamic calendar. And for those who want more than this, Mondays and Thursdays of every week. This is of course the perfection. Even more than this is even possible. But we've done 30 days. Let's try to do 1 or 2 or 3 days every month. And for Shawwal, let's aim even higher, 6 days of Shawwal. And a fiqh point, brothers and sisters, if anybody has not finished Ramadan for a legitimate reason, suppose somebody fell sick, or the sisters had their monthly issue and they were not able to fast for a number of days, the strongest position, brothers and sisters, and this is common sense, they need to make up Ramadan before they fast the 6th of Shawwal. Therefore, suppose a sister has to make up 7 days, then in Shawwal she will have to fast 13 if she wishes to have the whole 7 plus 6. And that is because the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts Ramadan and then finishes 6 of Shawwal. And the person who still has 7 fasts or 5 fasts or 3 fasts has not quite fasted Ramadan. And therefore, if we have some leftover fast, then we need to do a little bit extra because we didn't fast in Ramadan. So the person who didn't fast 7 days in Ramadan, they didn't fast Ramadan. They need to make it up in Shawwal. If they want to do the 6th of Shawwal, if they want to be a bit more lax about this, then the Sharia is open. They can make it up anytime until the next Ramadan, but they will miss the beautiful rewards of the 6th fast of Shawwal.